OPOSA versus FACTORAN Jr. GR number 101083 with the decision date July 30, 1993. This case is all about a group of miners in an environmental organization filed a complaint against Secretary of the Department of Environment and Natural Resources alleging violations of their right to balanced and healthful ecology through the granting of timber license agreements. Supreme Court rules in favor of plaintiffs, recognizing the right to a balanced and healthful ecology as a fundamental legal right in affirming the justiciability of environmental issues. Let's go to the facts of the case. In this case, a group of miners represented by their parents and the Philippine Ecological Network Incorporated filed a complaint against the Secretary of DENR, Fulgencio S. Factoran Jr. The case or the civil case number 90-777 was filed before Branch 66 of the Regional Trial Court in Makati, Metro Manila. The plaintiffs argued that the continued granting of timber license agreements by the DENR was leading to misappropriation and impairment of the Philippines' rainforest, causing severe environmental damage. They requested the cancellation of all existing TLAs and halt to issuance of new ones. The RTC dismissed their case, ruling that the plaintiffs had no cause of action and that the issue was a political question. The plaintiffs then filed a special civil action for certiorari with Supreme Court challenging the RTC's dismissal. The issues of the case are, first, whether the plaintiffs have cause of action to prevent the misappropriation or impairment of the Philippine rainforests. Second, whether the issue raised by the plaintiffs a political question that should be addressed by the legislative or executive branches of government. And lastly, whether the granting of the reliefs prayed for by the plaintiffs result in the impairment of contracts, which is prohibited by the Constitution. The ruling of the Supreme Court with the three cases are, first, the Supreme Court ruled that the plaintiffs do have a cause of action to prevent the misappropriation or impairment of the Philippine rainforest. For the second issue, the court ruled or held that the issue raised by the plaintiff is not a political question. It is within the jurisdiction of the judiciary. And lastly, the court found that the granting of the reliefs prayed for by the plaintiffs does not result in the impairment of contracts. The rationale of the rulings of the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court recognized the right to balance and healthful ecology as a fundamental legal right explicitly provided in this Section 16, Article 2 of the 1987 Constitution. This right is linked to the right to health and is essential for self-preservation and self-perpetuation. The court emphasized that his right carries with it duty to refrain from impairing the environment. The court noted that the DNR has a mandate to protect and advance the right, as outlined in Executive Order number 192 and the Administrative Code of 1987. The court rejected the argument that the issue was a political question, stating that the judiciary has the duty to settle actual controversies involving legally demandable and enforceable rights. The court clarified that timber licenses are not contracts protected by non-impairment clause of the Constitution, as they are merely privileges that can be revoked in the interest of the public welfare. The court concluded that the plaintiff's complaint sufficiently alleged a cause of action and that the case should proceed to trial, with timber license holders being pleaded as indispensable parties.